In this movie, we'll look at setting user preferences in Pro Tools. There are two ways to get to the preference page. In the Pro Tools menu, second thing down, Preferences. Let's cancel out of that. Scrolling over to the Setup menu, last thing on that menu is Preferences. Same page. Either way will get you there. There are 8 tabs across the top. Let's start with Display. I'm not going to cover every choice on every menu. In fact, we'll skip this very first one because which numbers are assigned to your hidden tracks is pretty esoteric. It's not something we use for most projects, so let's talk about the ones we use. Tooltips. These are the little yellow pop-ups that are helpful when you're learning Pro Tools. At some point, you'll know what the tools do and you can turn this off. Edit window default length. If you work in commercials, you could set your default length for 30 seconds or 60 seconds. If you work in pop music and your average song is 4 minutes, set that. So this code is hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Organize plugins by. Well, we have to get out of this window to see it. Right now, they're organized by category. So we'll cancel out of this, go to Audio Suite, and that's what they mean by category. Let's jump back to Preferences. We'll change it to a flat list, say OK, and now they're not organized by category, they're organized alphabetically. Back to Preferences. You can choose Manufacturer, and another choice there is Category and Manufacturer. So let's look at that one. And so now we can see who made it down here at the bottom, and we can also see the category that it falls into. So it's going to show up twice here. Once as the category, once as the manufacturer. Back to Preferences we go. At the bottom of this page is Show Dashboard when Pro Tools starts. Some people like the dashboard, some people don't. I like it because it gives you the open and open recent choices, but now you have the option. Right side of this page, it's all about colors. I think MIDI note color containing velocity is very handy. High velocity notes, the 127s will show up as bright red. The low velocity notes will be kind of a pale blue, so easy to see the velocity simply by looking at the note. I like the default settings for this page. Seems to me that you'd always want the play start marker to follow your timeline selection. You can control the speed of the fast forward and fast rewind, and even hear that audio if you like it. One of the big advantages of nonlinear editing is you don't have to rewind anymore. So in terms of efficiency, it's not that much help. But I have used fast forward and rewind to get some interesting effects that I've recorded onto a second system and brought that back into Pro Tools. We talked about saving in the last movie, and if you're not a saver, then Pro Tools has your back on this and will auto backup for you. It will keep 999 backups for you and will back up every minute, but not less than a minute. User Library was new to Pro Tools 11. You don't log into Pro Tools, but you do log into the computer that's running it. So this lets you customize the location of your documents and your plugin settings and your templates. We use playlists for alternate takes. I would automatically create new playlists when loop recording, because I like organizing different takes of the same material, like a guitar solo. On to editing. The handiest thing on this page is levels of undo, down here at the bottom, and your max is 64. On the left and the middle, you can set new tracks default to tick time base. That's if you're using Pro Tools not really as an audio device, but more as a MIDI and composing type device. Remember, the rule of thumb here is that ticks are for MIDI, samples are for audio. And let's jump to mixing. This is very handy. So you can choose the default EQ. Let's say that you really like the 7-band. So I'm going to choose it, say OK, jump to the mix window for a minute, and it has now jumped out of the plugin list to be here at the top. Closing that window, back to Preferences. You can do the same process to choose a dynamic processor that you like. So we'll leave the default settings for automation. We'll cover touch and latch in the automation chapter, but for now, we'll just leave it on latch. We're halfway through our look at preferences, and we'll pick up here in the next movie.